There are cars, no matter what, like from the 2000s that just look good. Like you could do everything terrible to one of these cars and for some reason it would still look fantastic. It's just what the 2000s were for some cars, even though mostly were kind of ugly. I'm Alex Edify on Instagram, and today's episode of Behind the Wheel, we're gonna be taking a look at one of the pinnacles of early 2000s automotive history. We're taking a look at Austin's 2005 Lexus IS300. So Austin's car has a couple two-tree modifications to it. First off, the LS400 big brake kit. He's got KNP 18 by 9.5 plus 22s, which we have on the website. And of course, 215, 35, 18 Nitto Neogens. He's running Airlift V2 with Airlift bags, HPS intake, custom exhaust header back. He's got some other things going on with it on the exterior, like carbon fiber up the wazoo. Does anybody even say wazoo anymore? He's got the Cybin carbon hood, the Cybin carbon grille. He's got the ARP splitter, the Gennards, the roof spoiler, the side skirts. He's got the Rocket Bunny duck bill. He's got pretty much everything you could possibly imagine. If it came in carbon fiber, it's on this car for some reason or another. But of course, this car has the full 5-speed swap with the spec clutch and of course, the Figs clutch damper. But the coolest thing about this car, and pretty much any IS300, is no matter what you do to this car, like I said before, it looks fantastic. And Austin actually did a really good job with piecing it all together. Now, if you're a fan of carbon or not a fan of carbon, that's entirely up to you. But one of the things that I do enjoy about the car is how the carbon is actually broken up. So if you see, it goes carbon color, carbon color, carbon here, you know, nice little angry eyelids, and then carbon color. It's actually nice to offset the whole thing. If you've got too much of it going on, I think sometimes it can look a little bit tacky, but the fact that it's an IS300 and that he broke it up actually doesn't look that bad. This car has more carbon fiber than I think it knows what to do with, which is actually pretty cool. I think Austin has an infatuation with carbon fiber. You got a carbon fiber centerpiece, you got carbon fiber steering wheel, you got carbon fiber on the outside, you got carbon fiber on the A-frame, you got carbon fiber on the hood, you got carbon fiber. I'm pretty sure Austin, you have a carbon fiber wallet? Yeah. Just let me see it right now. I don't believe him. Oh my goodness, there's so much carbon. Okay, Austin, I only have one question. Is there anything I need to know about this car before I drive it? Because I keep breaking these.
So, first off, the only thing is, being that it's manual swap, it's a little finicky. So, just clutch, kind of worry about that a little bit.
Yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say.
That's it? Everything else is good?
Yeah,
there's not a single other thing wrong with this 2005 Lexus IS300.
If you see it bump, then air up a little bit, but otherwise, just send it. Have fun with it.
Oh God, we're gonna break this thing. Hey, I just want you guys to know. Carbon. Carbon. More carbon. Carbon. Oh God, carbon. Racing seats, -1 point. Why do you have racing seats in here? Actually, it's not the racing seats that are a problem, it's the harnesses. Harnesses are not fun. I just don't understand why. Like, why do you do this to yourself? Let me just, we could have had the review over by now. Oh my goodness. This is dumb. This is dumb. Yeah, well, everything about this is difficult. Wow. Strapped in, 225 horsepower. I am so glad that no matter, what is that clutch?
It's there.
Oh my goodness, this is gonna be a party. I'm excited. So one thing to remember about the IS300 is that it was pretty much a direct competitor to the luxury sports sedan of the European luxury cars. Like the XE10 series Toyota Altezza and the Lexus IS was designed with a greater performance emphasis than typically seen on prior Japanese luxury vehicles to compete with that European market. So when you're looking at the car, you can kind of see that in the design work, and also, even though it's not as much horsepower in today's day and age, it's still pretty decent for when it was made back then. The engineering work was led by Nobuaki Katayama from 1994 to 1998, which is responsible for the AE86 project as well, which was actually pretty cool to think about. One of the coolest things about this car is just the fact that for some reason Lexus has always figured out how to design their cars just very, very well from an aesthetic point of view. And I still think, even now in 2020, it's probably one of my favorite design works is to see new Lexuses out on the road, because they do such a fantastic job. Going back 15 years, the IS300 is still a banger. We just got to see if Austin kept it a banger. Oh God. Whoo! Woo! Whoa, 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 whoa! What is that clutch? Oh, like butter. The fact that this is a 5-speed swap does make it a little bit more difficult to drive. So, right out of the gate, this car is again crazy loud, which is not a terrible thing. It's not the worst thing in the world. I'm not sure if it's needed for the Lexus IS300, and the fact of the motor, you know, it still is a technically 2J, but it's lacking the turb skis, I think, for the sound that we all want to hear. The car feels pretty good. It's not bad by any means. The clutch is scary though, and if I could get a video, if I have the whole thing, if I want to move the car, my foot is probably, with the clutch pedal, maybe half an inch from fully depressed. How many lights does it have on? That's a great question, audience. It has all of them. It has the check engine light, the ABS light, the fog light, the maintenance required light, the brake light, which we have the brake off, which sometimes we always make that mistake. The tail lights, I think, have a warning. I didn't even know that you could have a warning for tail lights. I will say that for everything pretty much besides the 5-speed swap, the car inside is really pretty nice. They switched out the center dash to have a tablet instead. You can play music from there. That's pretty cool. The car feels pretty good. It just kind of feels maybe a little lofty, but that's mostly just because I think he's trying to set it up for fitment. One of the things I love about the Lexus IS300 is how many different ways you can actually modify these cars. So a lot of people will actually drift these cars. There's a lot of people that will engine swap these cars and run them as, you know, track cars or autocross cars. And then you also have the show car market, because this makes a fantastic, fantastic show car. Something about it just being laid frame on the ground looks super good, especially with the body lines for this car. And Lexus seems to carry that, where they just have a really good design work on a lot of their cars. Now, some people might get mad at me because there are some pretty ugly Lexuses out there, but I would argue that the Lexus IS300 is probably the best looking Lexus right now, next to, I believe it's the 350F Sport is probably my second favorite one right now. Am I holding the clutch? Just a little bit. I'm not kidding. I can feel the carpet when I let off on the clutch. That's how far you have to throw it to get any good traction on the clutch. Is it fast? No. Do I need to put my foot underneath the clutch pedal every single time I use it so that it springs back up? Yes. Is it a great looking car though? Absolutely. It's a really good looking car. I love the way this thing looks. And it feels pretty nice too. Now, save for the actual racing harnesses that I just don't think are needed, especially in a car like this, I feel like you could drive this thing pretty much anywhere. From a reliability standpoint, especially the IS300 doesn't do bad. If you're looking to pick one up, you just gotta make sure you get one that has maintenance records done and that was probably owned by an older gentleman or gentlewoman. That does not sound right at all, because these things have been abused depending on who you buy them from. And when they are abused, they do look very, very worn. You'll see it in the headlights, the tail lights, you'll just see it in how it feels and how you drive it. It'll just kind of feel like just loose, and you just don't want that. One of the best things about this car is I actually remember when Austin picked this car up when I first started Fitment Industries, way back with just Mario and I, when Austin showed up at one of our first shops, like way, way long time ago, probably almost 3 years ago now, with this car. And he showed up because he used to work at a dealership, and he showed up with all of his dealership clothes on, and he looked like he was like gonna maybe like pass you like a sermon card or something like that. And to see it go from what it was then, which was just pretty much a baby blue automatic IS300, to this is actually pretty cool. You know, ow, that was probably a bump stop. Every part of that hurt my soul. From a community standpoint, yeah, there's a ton of Lexus stuff out there. There's a ton of communities out there. And the pricing isn't the worst thing in the world, which is actually kind of nice, because there are some communities that are just damn expensive to be a part of. The Lexus doesn't do that too terribly, depending on the parts that you get. There are some brands out there that overcharge quite a bit for Lexus components, and that's mostly on the newer stuff, but I'm pretty sure that's with any car manufacturer. I'm trying to be quiet and it's not working. I would say the one thing that I think the car definitely does need, in my eyes, would probably be just a little bit of love in the transmission department and just fine-tuning that a little bit. Because just because these cars don't have, you know, 5,000 horsepower and 600 foot-pounds of torque doesn't mean that they have to be slow. They can still be a fun car. You just got to have the ability to actually drive it fast if you wanted to. And I just don't know if you'd be able to with the current setup in this car. Please don't hit it. Oh, much better that time. That was prepared. So the traction control light is flashing now, and the seat airbag light is now on, but it was off. Oh, it's off. Now it's on. Wait, is it flash? Is it flash or is it intermittent? We don't know. You know, even though Lexus went off and this was the last year for this body style specifically, and they started moving into the Lexus IS350 and then the 430 and now the 500 and all that sort of stuff, I think there will always be a special place in my heart for the IS300 and the LS400, because they shared so many components and so many ideologies with some of the cars that most people of, I would say, the 1990s grew to love. The Toyota Supra being one of them, and Lexus kind of having some of the bits and pieces of the Supra is, I think, what carried a lot of people over into this car. And that's what makes so many people want to modify this car and other Lexuses of the same kind of, you know, maybe area or age that they were actually manufactured. To see the support in Lexus, I think, is always so cool, because there's so many cars out there that a lot of people sometimes forget they can own. They modify, you know, your typical standard car because that's what everybody else is doing. And they forget that there's been another Japanese auto manufacturer out there that's kind of been doing something a little bit different, that you can still buy and not pay an arm and a leg for. A car that you can modify, and even if you don't do it like perfect, you're not going to be judged too heavily. Like, it's not going to hurt too bad when you mess it up, because the car just looks good. There are other cars that don't look good, and then when you mess it up, it just makes it look worse. The Lexus body lines can hide quite a bit in terms of questionable styling, but the IS300 is one of those cars that I hope never goes away from being in like the modification Bible of cars that you can pick up for like under $10,000. And let the record state, why is that technology even there? Let the record state. Carbon fiber. Oh, I hate racing seats so much. Put the racing seats in a racing car. I didn't kill it. It's like I'm playing Jenga with your clutch pedal. There she goes. Oh. Whew. Huh. There you go. Austin's Lexus IS300 has some really great stuff going on with it. The color combo, I absolutely love. The fact that it's 5-seat spot, absolutely love. The fact that it's got Brahms seats, absolutely love. The fact that it has racing harnesses, absolutely not, all right? get that shit out of here. But everything else about the car is pretty fire. I really do like Lexus IS300s, and I love the fact that it's modifying something different. And that's really what it comes down to, is doing something just a little bit different. Now, some people might say that the IS300 is a pretty standard car to modify, and to that I say no. You don't see as many of these out in the wild as we wish we would see. We see a lot of other stuff. So to see something like this, especially in the style that's done with it, is pretty cool. Short of the fact that the 5-speed trans does need a little bit of work in terms of a little flippy-floppy clutch pedal, and the fact that the interior can sometimes be excitingly tough to get around in because there's racing harnesses, Austin, it does leave a little bit of potential improvement if you're really diving into the details. I would rate this car a 24 out of 30 just because I love the way that it looks. It actually drives pretty fun. It's a little bit too loud for me, but overall very exciting car. Which really, when you jump into it, you could make the car faster, but because of the fact that we have all the things going on with the transmission, it's gonna result in some iffy, probably some more expensive modifications. You could just 2JZ turbo swap it, and then you'd be really looking at some fun numbers, but the odds of that all panning out in terms of Austin doing it is probably pretty low, mostly because of the fact that he's infatuated with carbon fiber. And if he's infatuated with carbon fiber, that means that he's going to want a carbon fiber transmission, he's going to want a carbon fiber driveline, he's going to want a carbon fiber motor mount.